What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I am beyond excited because the lovely folks at Wizards have let me do an exclusive reveal of the first ever Bluestreak card that we have had in the Transformers TCG. Bluestreak Reluctant Soldier is here, and I've got the pleasure of showing it to you for the very first time. I'm a happy boy. I'm an excited boy. So what does it actually do? Well, if we start off with the stats here, we've got a health of 9. Now, health of 9 is actually quite low. Having said that, the average car has a health of 11, so it's not terrible, but it's not particularly good. Now, in bot mode, we have an attack of 5, which is good. That is above the average, but it's got a defense of 0, which is very, very bad. However, it's got a very interesting skill. When you attack with Bluestreak and you flip at least one white, one orange and one blue icon, you flip to alt mode. And alt mode's looking good. No skill in alt mode, but a defense of 4. Defense of 4, ladies and gentlemen, is incredibly high. It is double the average. But you'll notice here that you have an attack of 0. And this card has great synergy with itself. You start off in bot mode. You have an attack of 5, which is very high, but a rubbish defense. But when you attack, you flip a white, an orange, and a blue. You flip to alt mode, where the attack goes to 0, but it doesn't matter, you're not attacking. And the defense of 0 turns into a defense of 4, which is great. And you don't have a skill, but you don't really need a skill. And essentially, the goal of this card is very simple. You want to end up in bot mode just before you attack, flip into alt mode, and then sit there with a defense of 4, taking a hit or two before you flip back into bot mode and repeat the process. This is very, very nice. But it puts a little bit of pressure on you as the player in 2 ways. Number 1, you need to get it every turn with the flipping. Now, the good news is you can flip once naturally for your turn. The bad news is, do you really want to use that constantly to flip this over? Maybe you do, in which case fine. But you are kind of locked into that. The good news is we do have rapid conversion, and rapid conversion has a white pip, and you're going to need some white pips here. That's quite good, and it lets you flip one of your characters from one mode into the other mode. Great, because now you can flip yourself into bot mode, and you're up and rolling. But unfortunately, that's the only action card we've got here that's going to work. Rollout, in theory, lets you flip all of your cards, but it only lets you go from bot mode to alt mode, and you need to go from alt mode to bot mode to start attacking, because you go alt to bot when you attack. And similarly, start your engines works for cars, but again, it only lets you flip from bot mode to car mode, and you need to go from car mode to bot mode. So rapid conversion is great. Flipping for your turn is great. Okay. But that's all you've essentially got here. The second challenge presented is that you need to hit all 3 icons. Now, it's not quite as intimidating as Metroplex, where you need to hit 2 of every icon, but it's not as good as Metroplex when you hit 1 of each icon. So firstly here, we do need to be playing a mix of orange, blue, and white icons. And secondly, bold is going to help us immensely, because bold lets us flip extra battle cards when we attack. The more cards we flip, the more chance we have of hitting a white and an orange and a blue. And we've got some cards that can give us bold here. We've got Prowl. Now, Prowl is a car, which means you can fit it nicely into a card deck with this. And with Prowl, when you flip into alt mode, each of your cars gets bold 2 until end of turn. So Prowl will give you bold 2 here, and any car related stuff you're playing will help them both. That's really nice. We've got Supercharge, an action card that gives you bold 3. And we've got Flamethrower, which is an upgrade that gives you bold 2. So those cards would help you get some bold going. And there are other cards, but they're the ones that spring to mind initially, which can give you a little bit of extra bold, up the chance that you hit those 3 icons. And we also do have ways of manipulating this to make it a little bit more certain. So back in Wave 1, we got the battle card Incoming Transmission. An Incoming Transmission reads, draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on top of your deck. Now that's all well and good, you can choose which icon you put down, but the problem is you need one of each of the 3 icons, and you don't know what the other ones are, so it's a little bit empty in and of itself. But in the Predacon leak that we got, we saw Taurox, and Taurox has a very, very interesting skill in bot mode, which when you flip to this mode, draw a card and then plan 1. Now we had things like this in Wave 1, though it didn't have the same name. You may put 1 card from your hand on top of your deck. So if you were to play both Taurox and Incoming Transmission, you could put, say, a white icon down so you flip the extra 2 when attacking, and an orange or a blue, so that you're guaranteed to hit 2 of the 3. Now, as it stands at the moment, Taurox is the only character that we see with this Plan 1 ability from Wave 2, but having said that, we have not seen many characters from Wave 2. Now, I'm not saying Taurox is a great partner for Bluestreak, I don't think he is. But I am saying that there's every chance that we get other characters with Plan 1, and if you can manipulate 2 or even 3 cards on the top of your deck, that's going to make it a little bit easier to get this skill rolling. Because to be 100% clear here, if you can get the skill in bot mode every time, and then you can flip back to bot mode before you attack, this is absolutely wonderful. You've essentially always got an attack of 5 and always got a defense of 4. They are really good stats. Now it is an 8 cost, which means it's an average cost character, but 5 is above average attack, 4 is double the average defense, and okay, the health is low, but stats like that on an average cost character, I'm in favour of this. Now, the thing is, you have got low health, and when you're generally being attacked, that's not a problem, the defense will save you. But unfortunately, if you've got low health, direct damage is a big problem. Cards like Zap and Photon Bomb, action cards that do direct damage, will be a bit of an issue here, and similarly there are a couple of character cards, Starscream and Thundercracker. You are a melee character regardless of which mode you're in, so Thundercracker will always get the extra damage, and both of those planes will be able to, in theory, do 2 damage, which is a significant chunk of your health. Similarly, Pierce could be a bit of an issue here, because Pierce guarantees a certain amount of damage. They can go through your good defense by just using Pierce. So if we find something like Megatron Decepticon Leader, which comes along with Fusion Cannon of Megatron, that would have Pierce 6, which means that it's taking down 2/3 of your health in one go. That is far from ideal, and that is the problem with having low health, high defense. Both direct damage, cheeky damage as I like to call it, and Pierce can be a bit of an issue. Now the good news is, whichever mode you choose to be in at any given time, you will be a melee character, which gives you access to a couple of really good upgrades, that being body armor and Power Sword. Now both of these can only be attached to a melee character, but like I say, no matter which mode you're in, you're a melee character and you can attach it. And body armor gives you tough 3, meaning you flip 3 extra battle cards when defending, which is nice. And Power Sword gives you bold 3, which lets you flip 3 extra battle cards when attacking. Now I mentioned Flamethrower earlier, and I mentioned Supercharge, and I mentioned Prowl. This is clearly another card which is really going to help you with that bold, and if you can get bolder and bolder, that is just going to increase more and more your chances of hitting those 3 different battle icons and getting your skill, which has got to be the aim when you're playing Bluestreak here. Now you are also a car, and cars have some tricks as well. You've got Turbo Boosters. Turbo Boosters is a lovely little upgrade which allows you to untap when you attach it, whilst also giving you +1 attack. And technically you have Start Your Engines, but like I explained earlier, Start Your Engines is not a great idea for this particular one, because you really want to be flipping into car mode when attacking, and then into bot mode, you don't really want to play a card which puts you into alt mode before you've attacked. That kind of defeats the object here. There is Cliff Jumper that makes a fairly good partner for any car. Now, Cliff Jumper was one of the convention exclusives. It's not the cheapest card. I did a video about that. I'll pop a link in the description. But Cliff Jumper gets +1 attack for each car in your KO area in bot mode. And when you flip any of your cars into bot mode while you're in alt mode, you get to draw a card, which is very nice with this because, of course, you do want to be flipping it into bot mode in order to then attack, get the skill, the high attack, all that good stuff. We've also got Prowl, which will help out other cars regardless of which mode it's in. When you are in bot mode with Prowl and one of your cars gets KO'd, you repair 3 damage from one of your other characters. And we've already mentioned that in alt mode, when you flip to it, each of your cars gets bowled 2 until end of turn. There is also Wheeljack, which lets you draw a card and then scrap a card from your hand in alt mode when you upgrade one of your cars, which I'm going to be honest is not quite as exciting as the other cards I've just mentioned. I like Bluestreak. It's not the easiest card to use. You have got to focus on hitting those 3 icons, bold is your friend, and then flipping back into bot mode before you attack. But if you can get that working, you have an average cost character with an attack of 5 and a defense of 4, and all of the toys and tools and advantages that being a car brings you. I like this. Huge shout out and thank you to Wizards for letting me do this reveal. I like this card, and given that I try and do analyses of these cards as soon as I possibly can after they're revealed, it does make my job easier if I get to be the one that reveals it. Oh yeah, and if you want to see a Megatron card you've never seen before, come back to this channel in like 24 hours, because I'm going to show you a Megatron card that you've never seen before. How's that for a tease? For now, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think about Bluestreak. Give me your ideas for cards you would play with him. Go nuts, but please remember the most important rule as always. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter, where I talk about Transformers and other fun things. But by far the most important thing as always is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching by far the most exciting episode so far of Wossy Plays.